Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. Today is Wednesday, the 27th of March 2024, and it's time for me to do the midweek Forex forecast, okay, for this week. Kind of catching up on, what happened maybe last week, okay. I know I didn't put out a video, but I informed you guys that I'll be traveling, all right. So, well, I came back and it's time for me to do the midweek Forex forecast. But before we take a look at the charts, guys, I just want to take a look at the economical calendar because as you guys can see here, I'm not really expecting much of a volatility for the rest of the week, okay? And the reason is because we really don't have much, to move the markets, okay? You can see today is Wednesday. I mean, it's almost 6 p.m. Okay, this is 5:56. In 4 minutes time, we're probably going to be having this speech take place, okay. But you can see most of these high impact items have already taken place. Now tomorrow being Thursday is pretty much the only chance that I think we're probably going to see some volatility in these markets, okay, because we do have GDP coming from the Canadian axis. We do have final GDP, maybe not much of an impact, okay, from the United States axis, and then we do have the unemployment claims and the pending home sales. So probably expect some volatility around, let's say, between 8:30 and 10 o'clock a.m. tomorrow Eastern, okay? Because we do have some financial high impact news scheduled for those times, okay? But after that, you see that we have bank holidays after bank holidays, probably in preparation of the Easter holidays, okay? So you can see we have New Zealand, Australian bank holidays, and then on Friday we even have much more from the Swiss, Europe, British pound, British Canadian, and we do have a bunch of daylight savings as well. So I don't expect much of a volatility for the remainder of the week. That is after tomorrow, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there, and that's the reason why I have shown you this particular economical calendar. All right, now if we take a look at the charts, it's almost like nothing is holding at this point, guys. If you pay attention, right around here, we had a clear break of structure. One would have expected this demand zone area to hold, but then what do you see? A little reaction, and then we get a break, okay? And then maybe you would have said, okay, maybe this is the demand zone of interest. The market dips in, little reaction, and we get a break of that demand zone again, okay? And it's just been a mess. And then finally you say, okay, fine, I see what's going on here. It's like the bears are in control now, and this becomes probably the supply, and we get in again, a little reaction, and what? Boom, the market takes off that supply. So the market has just been pretty much in a nasty range, okay? The market has just been in a nasty range. But well, I would say maybe for the most part of this year, we've not really had any significant moves yet, and sometimes it happens. All right, I know we want the markets to be trending 100% of the times, but that is not possible. Sometimes the markets will have to take a breather. The markets will have to digest what's going on from a fundamentals perspective, and make a decision as to whether it's going to move or not. So what I'm understanding from the way the market has been moving is that maybe there's a lot of indecision, okay? So that's the reason why we're not getting those, directional movements in our charts, okay? But again, remember, the most important thing is to protect your capital, all right? Trust me, I learned that the hard way, okay? But try as much as possible to protect your capital, and so that when the good days come, you will have enough capital to be able to trade, okay? You don't want to blow your accounts when the market is in, it's not really giving you any movements, and then when the move starts happening, you are nowhere to be found, okay? So keep that in mind. Always protect your capital, all right? So well, that being said, what do I see here? Again, the system remains the same. We had pretty much this supply zone in here that led to a break of this level of structure, and even took off this demand zone as well. So I was expecting this supply zone to hold, but what do you see? The market gives us a pullback, and boom, we took off this supply. So well, chances are we probably have some orders in here, all right? And well, who knows? I would like to see these markets now probably give me some push again to the downside, maybe to retest these lows or anywhere around this demand zone area. And then from there, I would like to see the bulls start coming back into these markets, okay? Remember, this is the daily chart, so don't expect this to happen, very quickly, all right? But that is where I'm pretty much seeing a nice price action. If you zoom into the 4 hours time frame, well, in the 4 hours time frame, you see the markets kind of dipped into this demand zone that led to the break of this level of structure. But again, we got this nice push to the upside, but did not take off this high. All right. So again, the market is kind of consolidating in the 4 hours time frame. So what I would like to see personally is well, for the bears to come into these markets, okay, that will be my preferred course of action. For the bears to come into these markets, maybe retest this demand zone again and bounce. But if that doesn't happen, maybe a deeper pullback into these areas. Okay, you can see we have some form of demand in here into these areas, and then from there give us some reversal for further continuations to the upside. All right, that will be my preferred course of action. Now, that being said, the markets can also, you can see we now have a clear level of resistance on our charts right around that 104.50 institutional price level. The markets can easily from here also give you a nice push to the upside, breaking away this key level of our resistance that we have on our charts, okay? And if that happens, obviously, demand zones will be formed, and upon pullbacks, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long also for further continuations to the upside, all right? So that is pretty much what I'm seeing here for DXY. Let's see how it goes. Both of them are equally valid, all right? Either a break to the upside, and then a retracement to the demand zones for continuations to the upside, or from current market price, a push to the downside deeper into these demand zone areas, okay? And then from there, I would like to see the bulls begin to come into these markets. All right, so that's it for DXY. Next up is going to be, let me see, next up is going to be US dollar Swiss francs, okay? Now, US dollar Swiss francs have pretty much been moving to the upside, as you can see here. Well, if we take a look at the weekly charts, you can see that the bulls have been in these markets, okay, for the past 3 weeks, all right? And we're still waxing strongly to the upside. Obviously, if you go into the daily charts, well, this was one that gave us a false signal, was looking like the bears are going to come into these markets for continuations to the downside. And then from here, you can see from the next day, boom, we got a nice push to the upside, creating these demands in the process that led to the break of this level of structure. All right, so now, well, it depends on how the market wants to move. Easily from the bulls and these markets, that's what I can say for sure. We can easily get a push into this demand zone area in the 4 hours time frame and continue to the upside. Very, very possible. Or we can also get this push into this daily demand zone area, let's say around 0.8900, and then from there we can get another swing to the upside, again equally valid. So all you have to do in this case is as price approaches these demand zone areas, we have to wait for confirmations, okay? And that way we make sure that we're not just jumping in blindly. We always have to make sure we're waiting for confirmations in the markets, okay? So let's see if we go into the let's say the 4 hours time frame. What do we have here now? In the 4 hours time frame, obviously this is solid demand zone. You can see I have my alerts sitting on top of that demand zone, and again, all I'm doing right now is waiting to see, are we going to get a dip into these demand zones, and then from here I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long. All right, if this is probably let's say higher probability in my own opinion to happen this week, because again this demand zone is way below current market price, and from here it's probably going to take some while, maybe into next week, even if we are going to get into this demand zone area that we have on the daily. All right, now that being said, let's see, do we have anything on the hourly charts for US dollar Swiss francs? The hourly is not really looking very beautiful. This would have been the demand zone of interest for me personally, okay? I don't like it. Yes, we are not getting a close, below that demand zone, but I don't like the way the market is kind of piercing this demand zone. Can easily hold and continue to the upside, but again, not my best setup in this opinion. I'm also keeping an eye on the Swiss francs right now as we speak. Swiss francs, Japanese yen. I'm going to show you guys the setup that looks better than US dollar Swiss francs, and that is the one I'm going to be focusing on, okay? But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me just go one by one, and that way you guys can see. All right, next up, Euro US dollar. Now for Euro US dollar, pretty much the same thing. I think the market right now is actually reacting to the speech. Remember, I showed you guys a speech that will happen at 6 p.m. Eastern. You see that? That's probably what the market is reacting to at this point. So that's this move you're seeing. Okay. All right. Let's see. From the daily charts, guys, in Euro US dollar, again, no clear movements in my own opinion. I'm actually going to take away this demand zone. I don't like it anymore because the market has given us a dip into that demand zone area. All right, acted as if we want to take off to the upside, but we didn't make a new high, okay? And then from there the bears are now coming in again massively, so it's looking more bearish than bullish. However, we are still inside that demand zone area, make no mistakes, okay? So it's not impossible for the markets to give us maybe one last bite to the upside and maintain the structure, the lower highs and lower low structure, and then from here give us another nice massive push to the downside. All right, this is kind of the price action that I prefer to see in Euro US dollar, but again, remember, this is the daily charts, okay, so make no mistakes. All right, so let's go into the 4 hours time frame. In the 4 hours time frame, not much. Again, this was a nice trade opportunity. I personally missed this. I was not even on I wasn't really looking at my charts. Remember, guys, I told you guys I traveled over the weekend, so I have not really looked at my charts, believe it or not. Okay, but this was a nice supply zone that led to the break of this level of structure. The markets gave us a push into that supply zone area, and then from there you can see we could have easily gone shorts upon confirmation for further continuations to the downside. So this was probably the one trading opportunity that would have gotten this week. But again, well, if you got it, good luck. Personally, I did not even look at my charts. All right, so that's it for Euro US dollar. Let me see, not much, not much, honestly. Like I said, my preferred course of action will be maybe the markets find a way to give us a push to the upside, okay, maybe into somewhere, let's say around, let's say 1.0900, 1.0920 area, in this neighborhood, just deep enough maybe to test this area that we have here, and then from here maybe a reversal pattern, and we can continue to the downside. All right, that's kind of my preferred course of action. And well, this again is one possibility. Another possibility that I'm seeing right now is well, this area that we have here. Okay, you can see these lows here. If the market begins to give us a clear break of these lows, then chances are we'll probably get a pullback for further continuations to the downside. Okay, but right now it's looking like well, maybe these lows might be holding, and if that happens, then that might be an indication that we're going to get that push to the upside into this supply zone area, and then from there get the BS to come into these markets. Okay, so just keep in mind and follow price action. Okay, that's it for Euro US dollar. Next up is going to be British pounds and US dollar. Now, same story, guys. Okay, British pounds US dollar, you can see how we got that deep into this particular supply zone area, but we are not quite making a new lows. The market is kind of hesitating right now. So just like I said in the case of Euro US dollar, for British pounds US dollar, again, a push to the upside, let's say maybe 127.50 area, and then from there, guys, any reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short, guys, for further continuations to the downside. All right, that's it for British pounds and US dollar. Again, if we get a break of these lows that we have in this area, then I'll be looking for the retracement into the, let's say, the supply zones that form that led to the break of that structure for further continuations to the downside. So you guys have an idea what I'm looking for, but my preferred course of action is this push into the supply zone that I have identified in the daily. Okay, all right, so that's it for British pounds and US dollar. Next up is going to be let me see, next up is going to be Australian dollar, US dollar. Honestly, I am tempted to skip this one because it's just a mess. Okay, this demand zone is still holding. However, for how long is it going to hold? You can see how the markets give us a push into this demand zone. We got a nice push to the upside. Okay, but again, we are not taking off any highs. Okay, you can see this high is respected, this high is respected, this high again is respected at this point. So it's as if the bears are in control here. However, we're also not taking off this low. Okay, so the market is this level is holding as well. So few things can happen here. Either we get a clear break to the downside, all right, and then in my own opinion, we start looking for pullbacks into supply zones that form for further continuations to the downside, or from current market price, the markets begin to maybe give us another push to the upside, maybe towards, let's say, 6600 area, deeper into this supply zone area without taking off these highs, and then any push to the any confirmations, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short. Okay, so let's see. But again, I prefer the setups that I'm seeing maybe in British pounds, US dollar, and Euro dollar to this one. Okay, but just for you to have an idea. But this is kind of like my preferred move in this particular scenario. Okay, I'll prefer to see this push to the upside, reversal, and then continuation to the downside. Now, the chances that this will happen this week, like I said, is very slim, but I just want you guys to see the price action that I'm following. Okay, All right, let's see. Next up is going to be New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Now, New Zealand dollar, US dollar actually looks better in my own opinion. If you go to the daily charts, very clear price action in my own opinion. We do have, well, this level right here that's been working as some support. Okay, we've been bouncing off of this demand zone for as long as I can see here. Bounce, bounce, and then finally what happens? Market tests this, tries to bounce, and then finally we are getting a clear break of that level. So this is a very nice supply zone in the daily charts, as we can see here in New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay, now if we now go to, let's say, the 4 hours time frame, we will see that supply zone clearly. So again, just like in the other US dollar crosses, what I would prefer to see is for the markets to give me a push, let's say towards, let's say, 0.6080 area. All right, deep into the supply zone area, and then from here, guys, I would like to see this market give me a reversal for further continuations to the downside. This is my preferred setup, but again, in the event that, let's say, we begin to break these lows, then chances are we can trade off of the supply zones that we have in the smaller time frame. All right, but this is my preferred course of action. This right here is what I prefer to see. All right, next up is going to be US dollar, Canadian dollar. Again, this one right here, not much to be said. The market is just in, I don't even know what to call this pattern anymore. Okay, but again, what I prefer to see is just probably for the markets to give me a dip into this area, not a high quality, but maybe this would hold price, and then from here the markets will probably give us another rotation to the upside, okay, taking off these highs, because that's pretty much what the market has been doing. But again, this is not I'm not really following this setup at this moment. This is kind of the price action that I would prefer to see, but at the end of the day, ultimately we have these highs around this area, right around here. So whatever price is doing, I would just want to see price give me a clear break of that resistance level, okay, that level of structure. Once that happens, I'll now zoom in to identify demand zones that form, and then try to trade off of those levels. Okay, that is probably what I would like to see in US dollar, Canadian dollar. But until this level breaks, I think it's not worth it going long in this particular currency pair. Okay, all right, so that's it for US dollar, Canadian dollar. Next up is going to be US dollar, Japanese yen. Yep. All right, next up is going to be US dollar, Japanese yen. Now, US dollar, Japanese yen literally just remains in a very tight area. You can see this weekly highs that we have around 15200 area. It's been holding price almost to the beep right here. Okay, if we go into the daily to the weekly chart, I think it's clear on the weekly charts. All right, you can see this is the charts. Okay, this is the weekly charts. Now, the bulls act as if they are moving in momentum. Finally, it's looking as if maybe this level might give way to the upside, but not at the moment. Okay, we have to wait. Remember, it's not about anticipation, it's about reaction. We have to wait and see if this level will give way to the upside. Okay, and well, only time will tell, but at this point we have to just keep waiting, and from here the markets can easily find this as a very heavy resistance and start rotating heavily to the downside. Okay, very, very possible. Or the markets can pause for this week because we don't have much fundamentals, and maybe from next week we get a nice push to the upside. Okay, and any of this can happen, but you have to wait. You don't have to anticipate that move. Okay, if we go into the daily chart, not much in my own opinion, not much is happening from the daily. From the 4 hours time frame, again, not much. What I'm seeing in this chart is a possible maybe push to the downside first before we get a push to the upside. Personally, what I would like to see is for the markets to give me maybe a push to the downside. Okay, how deep that would be, I don't know, but I want to see the markets give me a bearish rotation before finally giving me a bullish rotation to the upside. Okay, that would be my preferred course of action in US dollar, Japanese yen. Not the best quality in my own opinion. The best will happen when we start maybe getting a break from here, then we can start identifying demand zones, or the markets begin to dip heavier, let's say into 14800 area, and starts giving us a reversal pattern off of those levels. Okay, that's where I'll be interested in US dollar, Japanese yen again. Okay, Now, let me see. That's it for US dollar Japanese yen. Next up is going to be British pound some Japanese yen. Now, British pound Japanese yen looking very nice in my own opinion. You can see in the daily charts, obviously a very nice demand zone area that led to the break of this level of structure. The market's kind of looking like we're about to retest this demand zones again. So let's see. My favorite move here will be somehow the market's probably finding a way into this particular demand zone area, and then from here maybe give us a reversal for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that's my preferred course of action, but again, remember this is the daily charts. Now that's pretty much it. It's nothing else that I'm seeing in British pounds Japanese yen at the moment. So just like I have identified, maybe wait for maybe a break of this level. Let me say maybe the market begins to break clear below this level, and then once that happens, maybe identify that supply zone in the smaller time frame and probably trade it into this demand zone area. That's pretty much maybe the one trade that might happen this week. All right, let's see. Okay, that's it for British pounds Japanese yen. Now I just want to show you guys Swiss francs Japanese yen. This is one I like for this week. Okay, I know it's not among the majors, but I'm keeping an eye on this one. So this is probably going to be a potential trade, maybe if it works out well towards the London markets. Okay, because you can see the very clear price action that I'm seeing right here. Okay, you can see this level of support. Okay, this area that's been working as some support, and then finally we get a very massive push to the downside, creating supply zone in the process. Okay, so I've been tracking that, and I think I'm tracking it in the hourly time frame as well. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing in the hourly time frame. This is obviously the supply zone of interest for me. What I would like to see in this pair is very simple. Maybe the market is taking off now to the downside, but nonetheless, I want to see this market give me a push towards this area, maybe 140, 167.50 area, and then from here I would like to see a reversal. If I do get that, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go shorts in this pair for further continuations to the downside. Okay, because I kind of narrowed down that supply zone, and this is that supply zone in the hourly. The market has tested, and now it's like it's turning around, but this is happening pretty much just at the end of the day, at the beginning of the new day. So maybe within the next 1 hour or two, these markets can easily give us another push to the upside, and then from here, maybe around London, if the market begins to give me a confirmation and we are still within this supply zone area, then I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, so guys, that's pretty much it for this particular week's midweek forex forecast. I'll see you guys again on Friday for the weekend forex forecast analysis. All right, guys, cheers and enjoy your week. Bye bye.